Well, Governor Walz also just responded to the arrest and federal charges filed today against State Senator Justin Eichorn, who's accused of trying to solicit someone he thought was a teenage girl. We have team coverage on this story, starting with Danny Spiewak.
Danny, there's some pretty shocking allegations in the charging documents. Is that right?
Yeah, and for that reason, Governor Walz says that he believes that Eichorn should resign his seat. He said that just in the last hour or two in a news conference after coming out of a budget meeting with legislative leaders. Walz says he supports Senate Republicans who issued a second demand today for Eichorn to resign, saying that with the charges coming out, it only reinforces the idea that he should step down from the caucus. Eichorn was charged both state and federally, but the state charges were dismissed so that the U.S. attorney can take over. According to those federal charges, Eichorn responded to an online ad for sex that Bloomington police posted as part of a sex trafficking operation. Prosecutors say Eichorn communicated with an undercover officer between March 11th and March 17th, asking if the officer was available and discussing rates at one point. The federal criminal complaint includes a text message from Eichorn where it says age of consent is 16. Over 18 is in a position of authority. Walz says he wants to stay consistent here and call for Eichorn's resignation just as he called for DFL Senator Nicole Mitchell to step down as she awaits trial in a felony burglary case.
I would hope people don't use it for political leverage, but use it as an opportunity to join together, that you cannot prey on our children and expect to get away from it. That's a big deal.
Now, on the DFL Senate side, Leader Erin Murphy has not yet called for the resignation of Eichorn on the Republican side. She says that the allegations are deeply disturbing, raise a lot of questions, but has not called for his resignation, just as she has not called for Mitchell's resignation in the DFL caucus. However, an individual senator, Senator May Quaid, saying today in her own statement that she believes that Eichorn should resign as soon as humanly possible, in her words. Back to you.
Danny, we are in an active legislative session. What does this do with him not in the chamber right now? And if he does resign and they have to do a special election with that, is that what would happen next?
Yes, if he were to resign, there'd be a special election, and it's a Republican seat. He represents Grand Rapids in north central Minnesota. But without him there, it would put the Republicans down 2 in the Senate. And then, this is just going to be another item of business that senators have to deal with. Tomorrow, it's possible Senate Republicans could bring a motion to expel him. They can't talk to him right now, though, because he's in jail. So he can't even resign right now because there's a process you have to go through, but he's sitting in custody in downtown Minneapolis.
All right, Danny, thank you.
Well, now let's talk about the ramifications of Eichorn's arrest. Ian Russell is here, who spoke with the former U.S. attorney late this afternoon.
Yeah, we spoke with Erica McDonald. She's the former U.S. attorney for the District of Minnesota. She says it's really not all that surprising to see those federal charges brought on here, especially considering what those charges lay out. They allege Eichorn asked what he thought was a 17-year-old girl when she was available over the span of about a week, even discussing, as Danny mentioned, the age of consent. Eichorn was arrested on Monday. Charging documents allege he also used language that McDonald says indicates knowledge of doing this previously, including acronyms for visits lasting different amounts of time. If convicted on those federal charges, he would spend at minimum 10 years in prison.
The fact that he is referencing the age of consent, according to the allegations, in other words, saying, well, you're over the age of 16 and 16 is the age of consent, absent any abuse of authority. That's really, really telling of somebody who is cognizant of what he's doing. He's done it before, and he knows exactly who he's targeting.
Now, McDonald told me in her experience as a U.S. attorney, she thinks that if he is convicted, he'll receive somewhere between that minimum of 10 years and 14 years as well.
That's just so sad all around, and it's incredibly sad for his family,
Yeah.
wife and 4 kids. All right, thank you, Ian.